Hi everybody, I'm back, and I had a request from a subscriber that's been with me for years and years. Um, and I guess I must have posted something on my Instagram about having another hip surgery, and she said she wanted me to do a video, so I decided why not? I have nothing to lose. So anyway, I already had my right hip fixed a couple years ago. Oh, I was filing my nails. I just broke my nail file. Anyway, plenty more where they came from. But anyway, um, so yeah, it's kind of a long story. I'll try and make it short. Um, I don't know how many of my subscribers know that I have Crohn's disease, which is a pretty gnarly disease. It's painful. It's ugly. That's why I disappear some weeks. I'm not here because I'm sick. I just can't even get out of bed, and yeah. So anyway, I get bowel obstructions a lot. I've had 8.5 feet of small bowel removed from my abdomen because I had a really bad twist. It's not where it's like a toilet being clogged. I know this is a little graphic, but this is the disease. It's where it gets twisted instead of being clogged. And when it comes on, I'm just doubled over, have to go to the hospital, usually end up having surgery. And I had one huge one, I think when I was in my late 20s, and they had to take out 8.5 feet of bowel. So I have to take B12 shots and certain vitamins because my body won't absorb certain vitamins because that section of my bowel is gone. Anyway, to make a long story short, I had a bowel obstruction. I was in the hospital for a week, and a girlfriend picked me up. Anthony wasn't able to pick me up. He was at work. I escaped from having surgery, thank God. It corrected itself. They make you swallow a tube that goes down your nose into your stomach, and they basically pump everything out. You can imagine it's coming out. It's not real pretty. It's attached to a vacuum on the wall, and it goes into a big canister, and they just keep pumping it out, pumping it out, pumping it out, hoping that this is going to correct itself. And after 4 days, they say, well, we're going to send the surgeon in. And it gets scarier and scarier after 5 days. Well, if something doesn't happen, if you don't go to the bathroom, you're going to go to surgery. Well, thank God I didn't have to go to surgery. So they sent me home, and I think I was discharged from the hospital around 11 o'clock. And my girlfriend picked me up in her brand new Ford Fusion. It was a beautiful car. And we were stopped at a light, um, and we were kind of just talking, and all of a sudden we were hit so hard from behind. A guy was going 45. We were stopped at a light. He was going 55, and he hit us parked, and he pushed our car into an off-duty police officer's car. The car spun around, and it kept getting hit and hit and hit. And I said to my girlfriend, I guess I was in shock. I hit my head on the dash, and I was pinned underneath because it threw me forward, and that's what tore the labrums in my hip. And a labrum is what your ball on your hip is like this, and the bone goes over it. And the labrum is the tendon that goes around it to hold it together. Although both labrums on my hips got torn, and I couldn't basically walk for a couple years. I had to use crutches, and I didn't say much about it on my YouTube channel. Never have. So one of my subscribers asked me tonight. I told her I already had my right hip fixed. I wasn't able to walk on it for 6 months. I wasn't even I was able to toe touch down, which means barely touch your toe down to catch your balance. And that was when we lived in an apartment, and we had 16 cement stairs to go up and down. So it was pretty scary every time I had to go down the stairs. But anyway, so now the right hip is bothering me. It's really bad. so I've got to go back and have my right hip fixed. So in the meantime, I had a lawyer and had to go through all that nightmare. And so yeah, Anthony can't take the time off work. He had to take a month off before, and I can't have him using his sick leave to take care of me. So I'm just gonna have to use my walker, and he had to basically carry my leg around because it was so painful. You know, when you have your hip done, somebody has to lift your leg up when you get up because it just hangs there dead and it's pulling on where your sutures are on your hip. And anyway, so I'm just gonna have to get through it alone. Without him, I'm sure I'll be able to do it. It's just the first 3 or 4 days are really painful. So yeah, that's what happened. So this guy was just reckless, careless. He didn't come. I was pinned in the car. My girlfriend was able to get out. They had to get the jaws of life and cut the door off. And she was kind of screaming about, oh, my door's getting scratched. And I'm thinking, I'm pinned in your car. I was screaming. OnStar was saying, is everybody okay? And I'm like, no, we're not. I'm hurt. So I think I'd been out of the hospital for about 20 minutes, and they had to take me back in an ambulance. They took her in the same ambulance. We were fighting about what, I don't know. I guess we were just in shock. She wasn't hurt as bad as I was. I guess she hurt her neck. She didn't have to have surgery. So I walked on that bad hip for 4 years, and then finally decided I just couldn't take it anymore. So I had my right hip done, and now I think I'm going to have my left one done. So yeah, that's what one of my subscribers asked, what was wrong with my hip. So that's what it was. I was in a really bad car accident, and lucky I survived it. So yeah, well, this guy, when the car was just spinning around being hit, I kept asking my girlfriend, when are they going to quit hitting us? I thought we were on the freeway and not just on a side street, you know, stopped at a light when the speed limit's 35. This guy's going 55. Can you imagine being hit, stopped in a car, and having somebody hit you going 55 miles an hour? It's crazy. Just the plain impact. And then we went and looked at the car. My neck's messed up too, but I'm not gonna have surgery on my neck. I have to take a pic, and it's gonna be my hip over my neck. But anyway, so that's a lot of reasons why I disappear for a week. I come back, I get feeling better, and yeah. So sometimes my videos aren't steady like they used to be, but it's almost like this wreck just ruined my life, and it's ruined Anthony's life too. So just gotta go with the punches. So that's why I'm having another hip surgery. I have an appointment to see my surgeon. Not sure when he's going to do it. The sooner the better. I'd rather just get it over with. And believe it or not, after the surgery, they want you to go home the same day. But I told them there's no way. I had to spend the night when I had my other hip done. There's no way I can go home the same day. So it's just too painful. So that's why I'm going to have my hip done. So out of the grace of God, I lived through that car accident. It was really bad. I know I reached through the windshield. The windshield was broken, grabbed my phone. It flew out of my hand and called my husband. And I had a Coke in my hand, and I told him I was soaked, and he was thinking I was soaked in blood. And he said, I'll meet you at the hospital. And so I think I'd been out for 20 minutes. I still had the wristband on, and went into the ER. They had me in a neck brace and, you know, all tied up, you know, tape over my forehead, and I was on a backboard, and it was just really bad. So, yeah, got a lawyer. I think I realized I needed a lawyer, or I wasn't going to get any help. It wasn't for the money. It wasn't, you know, but I just felt like that this person that did this was his third wreck, and I felt like that he needed to take some responsibility. You don't go flying down a road when the speed limit's 35. You know, that's freeway speeds. You know, to be going 55 and to hit a car that's at a complete stop. He smashed us like a tin can. If you would have seen his car, it was crazy. And yeah, so I'm gonna have another hip surgery, and I'll get through it like I did last time. It's just a long process. It's 6 months of no walking, and I had a walker. It looked like a hospital. We had walkers and crutches and toilet risers, and that's where it goes on your toilet. It's about this big, and it makes the toilet seat bigger, so you don't have to sit down so low. And yeah, so um, once he fixed my hip, it was better. So the left side needs to be done, and I guess it's getting to the point where I can't sleep. I just can't take the agony. I lost my pain doctor, so I'm pretty much on my own, and so I don't have too many choices. I just need to get it fixed and move on with my life. And I'd like to write this person, I'm not going to say his name, I'd like to write him a letter. You know, he never came up to the window. I was the only one pinned in the car. My girlfriend was able to get out of her door, but when you get hit, he went to swerve, and he hit my side of the car, and that was the side that got the most damage, so it pushed the quarter panels back, and you couldn't get the door open, and there was just glass everywhere, and it was really bad. I don't think I had a cut on me, which was amazing. It was just my hips that were hurting, and when the paramedics got there, I kept saying, "How are you going to get me out of this car? The car was just smashed." I kept saying, "There's no way you're going to get me out of this car." And they said, "We're going to get you out of this car." And I was just freaking out. And then there was gas. I remember I could smell gas. I said, "Somebody's going to throw a cigarette out." I was afraid somebody's going to drive by and throw a cigarette out and catch me on fire. Of course, you got rubberneckers in the meantime. You know, everybody's got to stop and look. And anyway, so to make a long story short, I was in the hospital for a week, got out, I was on my way home, and got in a wreck. So, yeah, gonna have my other hip fixed. I have an appointment next week with my hip surgeon, and hopefully he will do it soon. And I will be on my own. I don't expect Anthony to take time off work. He took a month off before, and I'm not going to have him use his vacation time. It's just, I think it's selfish, and I should be able to get through it. If I have to go through some agony of dragging my leg around, I'll have to do it. So, but anyway, one of my subscribers asked, I don't think I ever told anybody what was actually ever wrong with my hip or what happened, because I was in the middle of a lawsuit. So I couldn't really say much. So, yeah. I'm not quite sure what's going on. We had to sue our own insurance, which was kind of twisted. He didn't have much insurance on his, so we went after our own insurance, and then what happens, they go after him for pain and suffering damages. Her car was totaled. It was brand new, so she needed a new car. And of course, once you drive it off the lot, you never get the same price unless you have that gap insurance, which I don't think she had, but she did get a new car, which is good because I felt guilty. She picked me up at the hospital, and I was thinking, oh my gosh, what if Anthony was with me and hurt, and something worse could have happened? One of us could have died. Both of us could have died. I mean, you can see when they do those crash test dummies and they slam them into a cement wall. That's pretty much what it was like. And it just felt like we were on the freeway. And I looked at her, and OnStar was on the radio talking to us, you know, saying the paramedics are on their way. And I was just freaking out. I was screaming, and it seemed like people were standing on the road just looking in the car. It was just really pathetic. I remember one lady walked over to me and she was like holding my hand. Well, I was waiting for the paramedics to come, and I was on the phone with Anthony, and he was like, "You need to calm down." I was freaking out. I was just screaming because I was underneath the dash, basically pinned. I'm running out of time, so I'll cut this short. So now you guys know that's what happened with my hip. Pretty bad luck. I've never heard of somebody that gets out of the hospital and gets in a wreck on the way home, but everything happens for a reason. I believe it, and so um, God will get us through this, and yeah, it's going to be rough. So yeah. Anyway, so to Olivia, thank you for asking. Bless her heart, she's a sweet girl. She's been with me for years, one of my subscribers, and she asked. She wanted me to tell the story, so I said that I would, and so there it is. Anyway, so I will keep you guys posted once I see the surgeon and what the plan is. I'm hoping he's going to do it and not make me suffer forever. I don't think he will. Anyway, so I had 2 torn labrums in my hips, which is a tendon, like I said. They have to stretch it back together and sew it together, and then they take like 16 or 17 shoelaces, take a drill it through your hip, and then they tie it up with shoelaces and stitch it up. And you can't walk, you can't bear any weight on it for 6 weeks. I think it's 6 weeks. Then you have therapy, and pretty much all I could do was, if you lose your balance on your crutches, is touch my toe down. That was it. I couldn't put any weight on it. So that's the plan. Hip surgery on my left one this time. So anyway, I will keep you guys posted. I will let you know. I should know next week what's going to happen. And I'll let you guys know. So anyway, I will get this uploaded, and then I'm going to hit the sack. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. Enjoyed it. Maybe not, but at least you know now. So I'm not one to hide things, but my lawyer was like, you don't talk to anybody, and so that part of it's over with now. So anyway, I will let you all go. Have a good night. Thanks for watching. Give me a thumbs up. I will see you tomorrow. And yeah, stay safe. Bye.